Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Where Did I Put My Glasses? I am your host, Carmen,
And I am your host, Sense.
and today we have a special guest. Antwan, say hello to the people and tell them how to find you.
Hello, people. My name is Antwan. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok at Fine Tune, and that's with two U's. So the tune with two U's, Fine Tune.
And I'm happy you let us know, guys, because I just want to say I was on it with two N's. So
Two
I knew
N's,
two things in the middle. It was two, but I didn't know what.
two U's.
For those of you who are friends of the podcast, you know Antwan has been on several shows, and he's back. For those of you who are new, Antwan is from Florida. He just relocated to Houston, Texas, and he is a personal trainer and the owner of Fine Tuned, and also a tax preparation company called Tax Therapy. Tell people how you help. That was my show. Tell the people how you help people shape their lives.
Well, with Fine Tune, I've been doing this about 8 years now, and it's just a passion of mine. It's something that I love. It's not a job to me. It might be my career path, but it's not a job to me because that's my way of giving back to the people. So I can shape you up in person. If you're ever in Houston and you're looking for the best personal trainer in Houston, look no further. But I also do online training too. So it's a lot less expensive. It's not as expensive, I shall say. But the same amount of love I give you in person, I give it to you online.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, I need a personal trainer because I'll work out. Cynthia will tell you I'll work out for 6 weeks straight, right? Every day. And then after week 6, I just like, sure wish I could have a drink. And then just.
I know, right?
Ain't
And
nothing wrong with that drink. A lot of times people think you just gotta be perfect, like an angel. That's not how life go. And the same thing with the fitness journey. You need to have that little fun. So ain't nothing wrong with the drink. It's consistency. That's what like somebody like me will come in and give you that reassurance.
Well, we're gonna look into it because I gotta unbig this back for my birthday. Anyway,
I got you.
Cincy, you
But
have any? Oh, sorry.
Huh? No,
You
I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
nothing.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I tend to do this. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to give a shout out to our amazing partner, Riverside.fm. With their platform, capturing and creating high quality content has never been easier, no matter where you are in the world. It's truly a game changer for podcasters and content creators alike. Check them out and elevate your recording game. You can use our link in our Instagram bio and on our website. Look for Capture and Create with Riverside.fm.
You could be like a voice actress.
You think so?
Yeah, you can make some money. You really, yeah, you're good at this.
Okay.
Like if I was listening or watching this, I'd be like, let me click that link and see.
Okay, I can take that. I can take that. Maybe somebody will hear this and just come my way. Come on, I need some schmoney.
So today we are going to talk about society, society today, especially when it comes to Black people in America, right? And when I say that, it's not to bash anyone or my people, because y'all know I love my people. But as a Black woman, I only know how to be Black, right? And I feel that society's rules are constantly changing. And I live in a different community than when I grew up. And when I was raised, my Blackness looked different. Like in New York, even though I was Black, you didn't really have to talk about being Black. Like you just was in New York. But then when I started traveling, when I went to Florida, I had to talk about why I had white friends. Even when I moved here, like it's okay for Asians to say nigga and like be weird and like act completely like Black women, like act like us, talk like us, and like yell at us and say, well, my man is Black. Bitch, oh. But it's like, it makes me think, and I love, I have friends who are Asian, so I love them, and they don't act like that, because I'm not going to keep anybody around me like that. But it was just the cultural appropriation, and it's allowed in the Bay Area where it's not allowed in most places. And also being in a field that's primarily white. So I know this topic resonated with you also, Antwan. What are some of the most significant changes you've observed in recent years?
The changes, well, kind of like you too as well. Grew up predominantly black. Well, you ain't have to talk about being black, but you know, as you move up in the world, you kind of get from out of those neighborhoods and you get into other people's neighborhood, right? So, definitely, the changes that I've observed is that as I climb up this social ladder, or if you want to call it, you kind of get a little bit further away from your blackness in a way. And I say that because in the end, I always ask, like, you know, say even black professionals or professional people, I always ask, like, in the end, who are you helping by making more money? And like, who are you actually paying? And I always ask myself that too. So obviously, like, it's a double-edged sword, right? I want to do as well as possible. I want to be well off. Yes, I want to make money to help my people or help my family. But in the end, who am I benefiting by making more money? Who actually wins in the end? Is it my people, or is it the people who neighborhood you actually moving into?
Mm-hmm.
So those have been the changes that I've definitely like been like inner conflicts with myself. Like, you know, there's me navigating through this world as a black man. Like, okay, I know I'm black. I can see it. I know the area that I'm in. I see my surroundings. Who's actually winning from my success? So those are the changes, or that I've been noticing within myself, I shall say. You know what I'm saying? The world gonna be the world, but within myself, I've been having those inner conflicts and those battles inside. Like, okay, what is my real purpose?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how about you, Cincy? Because I know, like, you're from Antigua, and then you
Yeah,
are.
like I'm like a nomad.
You know,
So
but you're also a New Yorker.
right.
So,
So
like,
from Antigua to New York, I mean, there was a difference, but there wasn't a difference as far as like how people treated you. Like, you are a person. New York just sees you as people. I either like you or I don't like you. That's it. Black, brown, pink, whatever you want to be, they don't care. Then when I moved to Hawaii, well, they gravitated to the black people because they don't really like the other, because you know the other came and kind of took over the land. Well, not kind of took over the land. So the Howleys, I didn't have a problem there. I was still an island person to them. Moving here, it was different because you black, and then you know, I like to say, well, I'm not African American, I'm Caribbean. Yeah, but to them, you're black, and that's it. And it's weird, you know. Being here is where I experienced, or maybe I've experienced it before but never paid attention to it. But when I really did experience racism, you know, from a neighbor who pretty much said that I didn't have enough money to live where he lived. And it's like, excuse me? I probably have no money too. Like, what? Excuse me? And you know, like, even when we had the first house, the people will come to the door and it's like, well, where's the adult? And I got so tired of saying I was the adult that I'm like, well, they're not here right now. And then I even had a police officer once ask me, like, well, what do you do to live here? Work, like you do. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand. So it was just really different. And, you know, like you said, we're in a field that's predominantly white. And listening to Antwan talk, I started thinking about some things. You know, when he said, when you start climbing that social ladder, you want to be successful, but then do we really tailor our blackness in the workspace so that we don't step on anybody's toes? So that we could climb the ladder to help our people? Like, it made me think about that. So those are just some things that I've noticed or experienced moving from Antigua to different places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What I do say that I have learned with meeting Black people from so many, like, again, New York, and you can speak for Florida, but like in New York, it didn't matter where your Blackness came from. You were just, Black.
Mhm.
Or no, you were from the Bronx, or you were from Yonkers, or you were from.
Yeah.
It wasn't really like that. But as I moved around, like I've learned, and even traveling, like to Europe and to different islands, and I get to travel, and we're the only country that really says like Black. Like countries aren't really. Other countries are just you're this, you're Spanish, you're
Like your other
yeah,
identifying.
like yeah, you're the whatever country you lived in. That's what you are. But like
Mm-hmm.
here, it's like it's distinguished. You're white, you're Black. Like I saw a TikTok where the people were arguing with Samoans, saying that they're Black, and they're like, we understand our history, we know that we have African ancestors, but we are Samoan.
Right.
And people were arguing that, well, you're Black, but why do they have to say that they're Black? Like Black is a identification for the United States, right?
Yeah,
And
they created that.
South Africa also, because of the apartheid, because you have Black, colored,
And
white, African, right?
yeah.
So only the places where it had the highest rate of racism, where they had to distinguish between Black because of the segregation, like South Africa and the United States. But in other places, they're just who they are. And so I know that was like random, but when you said that, that made me think, why do we have to always put on this Black cape? Like even when I'm at work, like why can't I just be Carmen? You know what I mean? But I know I am, and I'm unapologetically myself, so that's a lot for people. But I'm the Black girl. It's not said, but you can feel it.
But you can feel.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to say, like, I hate even saying the word Black no more. I'd rather say melanated. You know what I'm saying? Cause that term, it just we passed that already. We already know what that means. I would say melanated people. You know, cause we kind of get treated the same other places as well. You know, that colorism and things like that as well. So it's a melanated problem, I would say. And what it all boils down to is you're in uncharted territory, or you don't own your own. You know, a lot of those times, those people who can claim that, oh, I'm Sudanese, they own their things. You know what I'm saying? That's their country or that's their land. When you don't got a place to go, you got to identify with whatever everybody else gonna identify you with. You know.
Oh wow. Huh.
I like that. I'm gonna start using that. Like I'm melanated. My brother gonna fuck you.
In my personal Instagram, I'm the melanin queen, so it falls right in there. So I'm gonna start. Hey, I'm melanated.
So you guys were already using it. How do I fit melanin into talk nice to me? Forget it.
Melanin to me or something.
You go.
Wait,
I like that. I like that. Okay. So Carmen, you mentioned that your experience of Blackness has evolved as you moved from one community to another. Can you share more about, like, go more in depth about the differences that you noticed and how you think they've impacted your identity?
I will definitely say moving to California impacted my identity. Because this was the first place where I had to deal with allowing people to wear me as a costume. You know, like even in Florida, like, you know, like Florida, white people were white people. They wasn't trying to be Black people. Like, you know what I mean? Like my friends was just white girls. Like even in New York, like
they had
Italian, like, you know what I mean? But you're not out here. They are wearing me like a costume. And then the men don't really, you know, it's like I have a guy friend here, and he lets his Asian friend say nigger. And I'm like, why? He was like, well, you know, he kind of grew up around black people, and then I said, well, what does that have to do with anything? He's not black. And then as we get to, he was like, oh, well, he's just Bay Area. He's not Bay Area. Blackness is not Bay Area. Our culture is our culture across the United States. All black people, we started wearing the long nails. It was whack to wear. I remember back in the day, they used to make fun of us if we wore weaves. We couldn't wear our braids. We couldn't wear long nails. We couldn't talk like this, and you know how we do. And you know, and now everyone can dress like us, walk like us, talk like us, act like us, and do all that. And it's a costume. And so I said to him, and I hope no one takes offense to this. I said, now how do you think he would feel if we walked around and said, hi, I'm Carmen. How are you? How are you? He would be mad.
Mm-hmm.
He would be mad as fuck. Like, why are you talking about my people like that? That's how I feel. Don't wear me like a costume. You can be my friend without wearing me.
Right.
You can be in my circle. You can be my husband. You can be my without wearing me.
Yeah.
That, and I think that's the observation I've had. And even like at work, I guess my identity has to be diluted because it's a culture of everybody's PC and no one's honest. And so I have to like I wear a lot of tension on my shoulders because I have to pretend and put on this fake voice. So I'm speaking in a fake voice all day long. When I get home, I'm like, I just want to be free. I don't know, guys. How about y'all? I know I'm talking, but Antwan, what do you feel like when you at? Because is your area predominantly white?
Well, in the Galleria, one thing I'm gonna say about Houston though, and what kind of draw me to Houston, is that it is a lot of black people, and it's a lot of successful black people as well. It does have a rich black culture. You don't see too much of that. I know what you mean. I've been to the Bay Area, and you see a lot of that stuff going on. Matter of fact, you see that a lot in the world. But I will say in Houston, that's what draws me. Like I can actually see black people on billboards. You know, back in Florida, you only see Spanish or white people on billboards. You don't see nobody black on billboards. But now I see black lawyers with advertisements and black professionals and stuff with advertisements out here. So I will give a shout out to Houston for that. But kind of related to what you've been saying, that's just the world. The world gonna copy black people. That's our power, right? Same thing in Turkey. So I was playing ball in Turkey back in 2019. I was there for like almost a year. And that kind of opened my eyes too. Like, wow, no, black people are very, very, very popular. You know what I'm saying? Because they were like still in the culture vultures. You know what I'm saying? You can call it that. You know, they listening to our music. And it's old music too from like 2000. Like they ain't even catch up yet. But they're absorbing our energy, and we're not. What I take from it is that we're not putting it in the right place. We're not using it properly to put ourselves, you know what I'm saying, in that top position to like establish that dominance. Like, no, you getting this from me. Where's the compensation? Or, you know, and those feels. I think once I think the way we feel the way about it, because we're not in the position to do nothing. Kind of like you said, you got to go into that professionalism, and we got to act like them. But meanwhile, they trying to act like us. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel that we not in the position to be the leaders, to not feel away. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because we the leaders, we let them do what they want to do because we paid, we good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and act like us, and we keep collecting that check. But it's reverse. They acting like us, but they the ones that's kind of profiting off acting like us. That's why I feel so weird. Like they taking a black man, like, you know what I'm saying, a black man going after them, and they acting like me. Like, what? This is the real source. So I can definitely understand how you feel with that. Like, here's the source, but you going with imitation. You know. So that's kind of how I feel about that.
We're loud and ghetto and all this stuff, but you're with the imitation me who's being loud and ghetto.
It's okay for everybody else to pretend to be black, but black people can't be black. Like exactly. Everybody want to be black, but don't nobody want to be, right? Like it looks good, it's fun and all of that stuff, but black people can't be black.
Can't be black.
Let else be black. And I just don't think it makes sense, but it really is because, well, I think there's a lot of power within us and they see it. just like the devil. They see the greatness within us and they don't want us to see it. So they just keep trying to oppress us like all the time. No matter where it is. Find fault in everything that we do. And then we have to sit and think about it and get stressed out. And it's like, well, I can't act like this and I have to act a certain kind of way to make it. You have your options. Like, can I be me? If I am me, how is that going to adversely impact my ability to grow within a department or whatever the case is? Like, it's just, it's weird. Like, really weird. And I didn't really realize it because, as Carmen said, our field is predominantly white. So I used to being around all white people because there weren't black LPs. There weren't. I mean, my sister was a PT, but they're most rehab people, PT, OT, speech, they are white. 2019, I got a job working out of school, and y'all will probably laugh at me, right? But I had never been in a room with so many black people at one time, and I just sat there looking around like, yo, this is dope. Like, they take me and seriously, like, they were having fun, they were dancing, like, it was fun. And I'm sitting there like, wow, I could get used to this. And you know, black people like to eat. They like to eat, they like to listen to music. So for me, I enjoyed that because I never had that. And whenever I would go like to do EI and I would introduce myself as a speech therapist, but I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm black, right? Yeah. And it was just weird. Like, it was weird. Yes, black people can be SLPs too. Like, we're not dumb. What the news portray us to be. We're not scary. We're not violent. We're not all of that. I mean, some people are, and with every race, community, whatever, you have those people, but they try to make it seem like all of us. You know, it was just it's just weird. I can say I have the opposite of Carmen now, to where I work in a black school, so I don't have to be anything but me. And I get it for how, you know, persons in power who are typically white or another color or less melanated, they reach out to parents. You know, parents would be on the defense. So my phone voice, you wouldn't think that I'm the color that I am. I had that issue in talking to a parent, and then she showed up and I introduced myself, and the look on her face, it was like, I said, yeah, that's me. And when we met, all of the tension disappeared because I look like you. I understand it. Like, we're here. I'm here for you. So that was really interesting. That it was.
I want to say, shout out to you though, Carmen, because when you say you come home and you can turn it off. I've been like, you know, dating and stuff like that, professional. I'm in a professional environment. And a lot of times I see now with a lot of the professional people, they can't turn it off no more. We losing our identity to be in their culture. So a lot of times, you know, I'm just like, you know, I'm a very authentic person. So I want you to be in your authentic state all the time if need be, especially when you get home. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times we can't turn it off no more. Now we that clone. And I always make this analogy with that movie they cloned Tyrone, that we already the clone. You know what I'm saying? You already cloned. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't forget the chicken and everything. It's the society. Like, you already cloned in to fit their description. You know what I'm saying? So you can't even turn it off no more. Now you just you ready to, they gonna click that button, they gonna turn your ass on. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly how I feel, especially like what I'm saying, like in the dating professional people, what I've seen so far, that some of them can't turn it off. They gotta be that way. Everything gotta be coded. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say certain things because it might get back to the boss. Or you trying to keep it real professional. It's not raw no more. Where's that raw energy at? Where's that melanatedness or blackness?
Right.
Where's that stuff? Where's that authenticity of you expressing yourself? It's been lost. It's been, you know, whitewashed.
That's unfortunate, right? Because like they probably are in a world, because Texas is hard. The laws in Texas is out of line. So they probably have been trained to be that way in their defense. You know what I mean? Where I'm in Oakland, I mean, everyone's black. Essentially, Oakland, you're allowed to just pretend you're black or be black. So everyone acts like me.
Mm.
So when I'm not at work, I can be myself because no matter what color you are, you're trying to be me. So I can be me because you want to be me. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
But like, I just want to know, like, how do you maintain both, like the both of you, how do you maintain your cultural identity while meeting those professional expectations?
Wanna go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to take a drink. I want to drink my drink.
Okay. Kind of how you hit it on the topic, being unapologetically me. Like, I know where I come from, and I know where I'm trying to go, and I know my history, if you want to call it that. So no matter, I understand that in this world, I do need your money. Like, you know, if I want to, you know, be successful, quote unquote. So, and that has not always worked out the best for me. I'm gonna say that. So don't think it's gonna work for you in that aspect, because it is hard being me. I will say, because I'm one of those people that don't turn it off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do know how to talk professional, and I'm a show my skills. Like, you know what I'm saying? My skills should speak for itself. My tone of voice or my dialect shouldn't matter. You know, I can, you know, I can dibble in and out. It kind of comes out sometimes. Like, damn, that nigga from somewhat country, but yeah, just being unapologetically me. I'm at the point where I don't care to turn it off. I'm not gonna bow down to you, and that's been my have what do you call that? Is it a superiority complex or something like that? Where is it? What is it called? It's called something like that.
Superiority complex, but I think when you speak about superiority complex, it is for the palm colored population. It doesn't pertain to us too much, does it?
I mean, it's more so like that. I don't care to fit in that way. More so like that. I will say that it's more so that, like, I definitely can take orders. If it's the leader is right, you gotta show me that you're a leader. I'm one of those people. Like, just because you the boss, I don't know you yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you did to get in that position. I always come with that mindset, because I know, like, just because you're successful don't mean you're righteous. So, just because you the boss, you gotta earn my respect too. Like, you know what I'm saying? The same way I gotta earn your respect, you gotta earn my respect. And a lot of times people expect you to just fall right in line. I'm not one of those people. I'm gonna tell you straight up right now. Like, I'm gonna come through my job. I'm gonna keep, you know, and I'm not gonna lie about my skills. I'm gonna keep, you know, I come to work. I operate. I'm Jamaican, so I can work. Best believe that. But but you ain't gonna just get my respect off rip just because you in that seat. You know what I'm saying? And especially in this particular corporate world and stuff, like, these people act weird. They do some weird things to get in that particular area of interest. So with me knowing that, I'm like, yo, who are you? You got to show me that you're authentic and you're a great leader. Then I'll fall in line and I'll play my role. I would say I'll play my role. But from the get, they don't like that authentic nature of me being me being present, and me being a black man too. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of comes off as, if domineering the word, you know, aggressive in a way, you know.
That's the word that they like to use, aggressive and civil. Like, they literally give trainings about incivility, and basically, like, we're incivil. And that shit was weird. Remember they used to give those trainings on civility and how, like, and use black people as an example of it. And it's like, no, we're straightforward. Like, one thing, and I will say, because I'm unapologetically myself, like, I was basically told in my job, there's no room for growth for me. Like, I'm going to be at the position I'm at, no matter what. I have the highest level of education in my department, but I'm never going to go higher because I'm unapologetically myself. I let them know things are wrong. I let them know how we can do, what we can do to help, how we can make those changes, what system, like, I provide solutions, whether they want to hear it. So I no longer provide those solutions. I no longer engage. And then I also work in an environment where they're all white women. And since I talked about this before, and there is one other black woman, but she's more like a white woman. And so when there are things that are wrong within our department, no one is standing up because they don't. I can say black people, we are naturally activists.
Yeah,
we naturally fight.
What's wrong and try to make it. And it doesn't matter we don't only try to make it right for us, we try to make it right for everybody. And that's the thing. Black people don't see color. It's like you either right, you right. You wrong, yo, that's messed up. You need to fix that. We don't care who you are. And they don't see us like that. Like with Carmen, and even I do it too. But I, like I said, work with Black people, so I don't have so much of the problems. We're solutions based. Like, first of all, we don't want to work any harder than you want to work, right? So we're trying to make stuff easy. We're trying to make it fun, all of that. They don't want to listen to suggestions at all. And if you have too many suggestions, well, you think you're better than me. Well, no, you think I'm better than you. I don't do that. I'm just trying to come here and make work feel like a party, and then I go home. It has nothing to do with me thinking I'm better, me thinking I'm smarter, or anything like that. But they project their insecurities onto us in the workplace a lot of times. Well, not just in the workplace, but anywhere. It can even happen in a friend group if you're not, careful.
That's the hard part, right? About that meeting those professional expectations. I find myself like I'm slowly, because I told you I take that mask off when I get home. I'm like, but lately I will say, guys, I'm starting to talk like me now, like with my New York accent. I've been slowly cutting back because I'm like, hell no. Y'all get to walk around and be me all day, and I gotta walk around and be them. Wait. So I started slowly, and like I had one of my coworkers say, Carmen, I don't know, something's different about you. I won't say her name, but I wanted to say to her, it wasn't something different. She like comes in, she's like a PRN. She's a PRN, and she was like, something different about you, but it was because I didn't change my voice that day. I was looking like me. And so I'm like, okay, slowly. I don't know, guys. I want to make my professional expectations, but I think I'm ready to turn it off. I'm ready to turn it off, still be professional, good at what I do. I'm efficient. I am a great therapist.
Yes.
And I don't think that the way I speak should impact how I do. And
that's exactly what Antwan said. And I feel like you're in a position to where you could be you. The people that are for the clients, the whoever, the networking, all of that. The people that are for you are going to be drawn to you, your authentic self. And you got to turn the voice on and off and all of that. I mean, who are you catering to? You're catering to the people that you don't really like, the people who are draining you, the people who don't even like you. So turn it off and you'll see what gets drawn to you and what you get drawn to. Now for me, I have to have this accent. Is that if I talk like how I talk in the house, you're gonna look at me like, what you say? And then I'm gonna have to repeat it, and then I'm gonna get real annoyed. But Skylar points it out. She does that a lot. When I get around other kids, I use my work voice. And like, well, there you go, changing your voice again. Or I meet somebody, then I'll talk like this. And she's like, well, why are you changing your voice? I don't know, sis. Like, it just changes. And then when I talk to her, I'll talk to her in dialect. And she's like, well, how do you do that? I don't know. It just comes on and off.
In patois, or is that just Jamaican?
No, it's they're similar. They're variations, but I'm mad you asked that. Do I sound Jamaican?
Auntie, I don't know, because like Trinidadians sound like they singing.
Yes, Trinidadian and Ghanese, they sound like they're singing. I mean, it's the closest to a Jamaican accent, but it's still very different.
Jamaican sound like, don't fucking play with me. They could be saying something nice, but you still like, what? What you can't.
One of my nail techs says that.
Sorry, Antwan.
That's good.
Whenever my dad calls or my brother, somebody calls, and I just switch, she just sits there like she's in a trance, and she's like, I love it. I don't know what you're saying, but it just sounds so good. And I'm like, okay. But I can't go around talking like that because you're not going to understand what I'm saying. in my last school before I moved, like we were on a meeting once, and this mom, she was popping off, and I started to laugh. You know, the crazy laugh before you get real turned. I started to laugh. And then I opened my mouth and my accent came out, and the assistant principal had to step in because she realized, you had heard it before, when I get pissed off, no matter where I am, that accent drops and I'm done with it. Like, it's over. When the Caribbean comes out, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I have to talk like this. I don't know. Maybe Skylar's going to have to record me when it comes to changing of the voice, because I personally don't know when
I hear it, especially when you start yelling at them or saying like it's something. Because when a kid's in trouble, they gotta take a bath. She's scared away from getting they behind.
Here's what happens. When they get on my nerves, it's time to get ready for bed. And it just so happens that a bath comes first. Time for go wash your can. I'll go wash your can. I'm going to bed. Yeah.
And now look at them. They scared of it. They're like, fuck, I don't want a bath.
Because they know what's coming next. They do. But yeah. Sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh no,
no, I was just gonna say to the both of you, like, I think we're all unapologetically our authentic selves. See, I have to slow it down there. But I do feel like both of you are in a position to where, like, Antwan has his own business, so he's gonna draw his clientele. They either want you or they don't want you, and don't come here trying to change, the business practices. Carmen, there's no room for growth in your current place. All right, time to pivot. And like you said, you have the education, you have tons of experience across the lifespan, across settings. So you can do all of the things you want to do, and you know that you need to do. I do too, but I'm a little scared circle for a moment, only because of health reasons. But I think we can all do those things. But I don't want to say but when you get to a certain point, I guess, looking for expansion or whatever it is, we might be with the unmelanated or the less melanated. And then, like, how do we then navigate that and still be ourselves without them, like, wanting to fix it? How do we...
See, this is when we needed, like, a right person with us.
No,
because it's just us, and we can only speak to our experiences.
Right.
So that question, well, you, the audience, whoever's waiting,
we'll pose that question to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Because this Three's Company can't answer that. I don't know if this happened to you, to any of you. So I used to work for this company, right? I love my mentor. She is absolutely amazing. I would just like for her to just teleport me her brain, like just dump it, because she's very knowledgeable. I love her. And then there was one other clinician. It's not that I don't like the other people, but whenever we would have function, there was only one other Black person that worked at the company. If it was a huge function with all the people, I'd be like, hey, Pepper. Sorry, Pepper. Like, are you going? And if she's not going, I'm not going. Because I'm not going to be the only Pepper in a sea of salt. Like, no matter what, I feel uncomfortable because they make me feel uncomfortable. If it's just, like my mentor and that one other person, we could chill all day long. But when it's a group of them, they like, I don't know if they know that they look at you weird or they say weird stuff, or like, it's just weird. So for me, I just wouldn't go. I have an excuse. I'm not coming. Like, do you have those experiences? Well, Carmen attracts all the people. Antwan, have you had those experiences?
I definitely can relate to that. I'll say in my past life, I would say, like, that's like a couple years ago, especially in college, because I went to school in New York. I know Carmen, I went to Pace University, and I went to the one in the White Plains campus, so you know that's predominantly white.
Yeah.
Very much so. But it has money. But I would avoid because I knew that I didn't fit in. I would avoid those particular circumstances just like how you would because you just don't fit in. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't feel comfortable. But I
Right.
will say these days in this lifetime, I will go because I am confident who I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that I shine bright in a certain type of way. And I know I ain't finna fold. One thing about me, that's what I think it comes to that point. Like, are you afraid? Are you afraid to be you? And I'm at a point where right now that I know I'm not gonna fold. I know who I am. So no matter if I am around you, you ain't finna pump me or you ain't finna do this or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna still be me unapologetically. So I'm not afraid to go into those functions. And as of right now, I am doing a little career change. I'm changing paces a little bit. I'm still gonna keep my fitness business alive. That's my baby. These are my babies. These are things that I want to grow. But more so like in the real world, I don't want to call it corporate, but I am going to step into that field. You know what I'm saying? Because it's getting expensive out here. I ain't gonna lie, Texas is getting very expensive, and I've always had those skills, but like I said, I've always avoided it. You know, and I kind of like doing things on my own as well. So I'm now putting myself in that, in that square to branch out and do something different because I am in that state where I'm so hyper confident right now that I can still be me and I can make this money or I can, excel at whatever I do. So I'm a lot more confident. And traveling did that for me too. When I went to Turkey, so I played ball in Turkey and I was around them but Turkish people, and that kind of changed my experience. Like, like, yo, you can be you and people like you to be you, in it to a certain extent, when it don't cause them to lose money or whatever the case may be. But to answer your question, to go back into it, I'm ready for it, you know what I'm saying, to show like what melanated is or
I like that.
Yeah.
Yep, I like
that.
What it is that you're about to pivot in, you go do it, be great, and representation matters. So the little coming up is going to see you doing all these things, and they don't know that they could do it too. So go ahead.
And what fields are you going into? Or
Well,
are you?
it's more of a sales field, so it's like something that's similar to my background. Like I know my gifts. I can communicate very well. I'm charismatic, little things like that. So I'm like, okay, I've been in this field for so long. Maybe it's time to do something new. I'm not peaking at the height that I want to peak at, So maybe I had to sit down with myself, like, man, you too comfortable, And now let me go put myself in that room with all that money at for real, like, you know what I'm saying, and see what I can do, as if I can change some circumstances, not only for myself, but for my people as well. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
It sounds like I can't wait to learn more when you get.
I got you.
I didn't ask because I didn't know whether or not you wanted to share yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of keeping it.
Like Carmen. She
Yeah,
don't
I'm keeping
about
it.
what you doing.
Yeah, I'm keeping. I've been practicing, like, because I'm the type of person, I'm so transparent that I just tell anybody, like, you know what I'm saying, But now I'm practicing, like, like that prayer that you're working on. You got to keep it silent sometimes because people, you don't know what anybody's intentions are. Not saying that you guys' intentions are bad. I know it ain't.
No.
But people's thoughts and energy kind of project into it a little bit. I just want to keep it real secret, keep it real to myself. I had to apologize to myself the other day because I kind of leaked it out a little bit to somebody because I'm so transparent. Like, but then I had to, like, you know what, go back in the lab and say, you know what, let me tap back in and get back into the, So it's sales. Yeah.
Well, when you're in it, we'll learn more about it.
I got you.
But I can't say, I'm like, Cynthia will tell you, like, people don't really, no one knows anything about it until I just like pop out. Like, hey, I did this now. And people are like, well, when the fuck did you do that? I don't want anyone blocking my blessings. My mom used to always tell me, never let the right hand know what the left hand's doing. I don't want anybody. Keep that to yourself. Like you said, people will try to make sure you don't succeed. And I'm not saying that everyone has bad intentions, but I honestly feel like even some of your closest people, if they see that you have an opportunity to be great or you're higher than them, they find a way to make sure that doesn't happen. And
and some people do it involuntarily. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what they're working with.
Yes, subconsciously.
You know what I'm saying? Subconsciously, they hating on you, and it's like interfering with the connection. You know what I'm saying? That you're trying to receive that signal from. So definitely I've been practicing that more because I'm such an open book. But now I'm more so like, all right, let me tap in, let me hone in, and like really get things done first, and then I can pop out, like you said. Yeah.
Now, how do you think social media has affected the way, like going back to like our culture and Black culture? Like, how do you think social media has affected the way Black culture is represented and perceived? Right, because we're looking at it like as a professional place, but how do you feel our culture is represented, or perceived within our community and outside of it?
I look at social media, anything on the internet, as a double-edged sword. Cause there's some positive things that are happening, and there's a lot of information that's being flowed, and people, oh well, I never knew that. Like what I'm saying, like white people having those moments, like, oh, you know slavery type shit, But there's a lot of information that's being flown, and Black culture is opening up a lot more. If it ain't already been big, it's everywhere now, as you can see. So that's the positive of it. We can see a lot of Black people in different lights. People are people are coming out that shell a little bit, like, what I'm saying, sharing their gifts and stuff like that. So I look at it as a positive in that aspect, but then it's also a negative as well, because the ignorant part of it. So now, if they ain't look at us ignorant already, they done seen this little TikTok reel that they acting a fool. Now, all of a sudden, all of us fit in that category, kind of similar to what we was talking about earlier. So now that's the double-edged sword of it. Like, oh, they all act like that. You know what I'm saying? And the bad thing about it is the ignorant stuff is gonna get the most clicks, but not the intelligent stuff, and not the stuff that's sharing knowledge or showing our peaceful nature and things that we're capable of doing. That ain't gonna get that much love. But the ignorant stuff, is going out the roof.
Yes.
So it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, which everything is. I feel like anyway,
Yeah. It spreads like wildfire. Like with social media, and it's the way that they manipulate the algorithm. So you see all the negative stuff, and then the overgeneralization of the stereotypes, like the ghetto types, and then the content creators will then make all of this content to push with that negative stereotype. Like, where's the positive stuff? Like, why are we not seeing that? And then like you're saying, a lot of our culture is now being mainstream. It's being mainstream in a way, like that.
See on TikTok that they said that we're gatekeeping the culture. Our culture, we're gatekeeping our
how what? Gatekeeping our culture, like it's ours.
They just making
Mind blown. When I saw that, I said, okay, let me get off the internet.
Well, they are gatekeeping the money.
Oh God.
No, speaking of gatekeep, you know what I realized today? That the government, sorry, I know this is, I'm tangential, takes $40,000 from me a year in taxes and all that other stuff, right? They are taxing me to go to work, and then they are taxing me to pay the bills. So I'm in trouble for going to work. They take $40,000 from me, and then they got a nerve to tax me on my rent, my car, my everything got a tax.
Oh, and don't forget you pay tax on your dividends, your interest on your bank account. They want all that.
All that.
Like, you want all that money, right? And you sending the money elsewhere. It's like, yo, charity begins at home. You got a whole lot of problems in your front, back, and side yards, but you're gonna go all the way over there to give them an assist. What? Like, it's wild. Like, in the last couple of days, and I know this ain't on that topic, but I just really realized, like, America doesn't want people to flourish. They don't want you to be independent. They want you to be completely dependent or deficient. Like, why? Why do you not want to see another person succeed? Do you realize that if everybody was more than just barely making it, everybody likes to spend money. Everybody would travel. Everybody will buy stuff, eat the foods that they want to eat. But you're not looking at it from that lens. You're just looking at it from the lens that you currently are, where you're just making everybody suffer. Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, you are weird. Like, they're just...
Not my fault.
No, I was just gonna repeat myself because they
Yeah.
are
Real shit. And I always say, just like in every story, there's an antagonist and there's a protagonist. You got certain people, if you look at a movie, all the little alien movies and stuff like that, the super spy movies, you got a certain people that come to a certain people's area and all they want to do is destroy and they want to take, right? So that's what we're dealing with. And like you said before, or you mentioned earlier, that black people, like, we forgive them for slavery. We forgive everybody for everything.
We don't put me.
I'm just saying, look how we acting. We in a system, so we must have forgave something. Ain't nobody do nothing yet. So we forgive. We're such peaceful and caring people that no matter what's been done to us, we find a way to show love in a certain way. But at some point, that has to stop. Because you go do something like that to a white person and see if the whole community will come after you.
Oh,
and you out there.
They coming with guns blazing.
Guns, fire, pitchfork, and forks and all that. You know what I'm saying? Oh God, they coming for you. They not having it. They not have you do something to a little white girl or whatever, or you go shoot somebody in their community. They coming for you. They gonna prosecute you right now. You know, persecute you, all that. But you know what it was, 2000 and whatever with the Trayvon stuff, all them killings happened. All these black people got killed and nobody did nothing. But what we did, we went out and protested. Peaceful protest. That's all we know how to do is peaceful protest.
I have nothing against, because I'm fully against the genocide and I don't like what's going on. But all the protests for the genocide, no one got hurt, killed, or arrested. But when we were protesting just for them to stop shooting us, you know how many black people got hurt?
Yeah, black people.
It's insane.
Only people who are a threat. We are animals. We scare everybody. We're aggressive. We're this. It's like, yo, we're just people, just like you. You cut me, I swear to you, your blood is the same as mine. It looks the same. Like, come on. I just don't understand it. Like, see people for their heart, not the color of their skin. Like, I just don't understand why that is so difficult. Like, why is it so difficult?
At the same time, I always go back to, there's always a protagonist or an antagonist. So there is the opposition. And until we figure out that and figure out our goal on this earth, like not your career, that's all we worried about right now in this world is career. But who are you as a human being? And what is your goal? And why are you that color? Or what were you sent here to do? And I firmly believe that we are the caretakers of this particular plane that we on, the earth, right? And I do feel like certain people came here to do everything but that, to protect it. Just like how you said, why are we paying for tolls? Why are we paying? I feel like Orlando Brown, the apples, and what things that naturally grow from the soil. And it all comes down to that maybe we forgot who we is because we've been whitewashed. Kind of going back on the subject we've been talking about. We trying to fit in with them, and they trying to be you the whole time. They being you, and you trying to be them.
Yep.
You know, and once you figure out that, so like, you know, just to end the debate, what ultimately has to happen for black people or melanated people is that you're gonna have to eventually give it all back to them, because kind of how I went off in the beginning, no matter how much money you make, like I said, I meet a lot of successful people, and once I start to see that, yo, like, I feel like there's a thing that has been overly ambitious, because being overly ambitious, the main theme of my life has been for the last 2 years is polarities, understanding polarities. There is a negative side of one thing and the other side, you know what I'm saying? So finding a way to balance all that out. And being overly ambitious, making all that money, you only empowering that white man. He's gonna make more and more. You're like, hey, keep making your money, and you're gonna keep paying me. Because $40,000
they take from me.
More.
They're not paying all that because they have tax write-offs and they know how to hide it and all of
It's their money, it's their system. You know what I'm saying? It's their thing.
I'm not mad at you for keeping your money because I like to keep the little bit that I got, but it's like, come on, why? Hey.
No heart, no compassion.
Hey.
No compassion. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it from a human standpoint, like, why? Why you don't want to see me win? You know, why are you taxing me overtime? Why am
Right.
I paying this much at the store? Why? I be looking at, you know, you like, why?
Yeah.
But they can't really, they don't tell you.
Yeah, me winning is not gonna stop you from winning or Carmen
Mm.
or the next person.
But
And
that's not true. Because the color of your skin, you winning is a threat to them. That's why it has to be that way. That's
because
why I say, I always come back down to it. You have an opposition. You winning makes you a little bit more higher than them. They don't want you even on it. If it was an equal playing field, you know who gonna win.
yeah.
It's been proven. You know what I'm saying? They know who gonna win. So nah, they gotta make sure that hey, this gap gotta stay as large as possible. As large as possible, and let's like they always do, like, you know, play mind games, feed a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta feed a couple. You know, but keep the majority down and bring a couple on with the scholars and like the. Mm-hmm.
And I will say that, like, working here in Oakland, when I first moved here, right, all the black people that I met were asking me, "How you live in Jack London? Oh, you live in Channel? Well, I didn't need to say where I live. Anyway,
Delete that.
but people would like ask me like, "How you live there?" Or I've had Uber drivers say, "Oh, who you visiting?"
Mm.
Oh, I live here. Oh, only white people can afford to live there. Or like a lot of people I met from Oakland that were like from Oakland, not the Bay Area, from Oakland specifically, would talk about how, oh well, we ain't got this and we ain't got that, and you know, we black people don't do this and black, and I'm like, I felt bad because I'm around so many successful, talented, beautiful black people, and this one area secluded a whole population of black people who don't even know that success is attainable. Like, why don't you know all of these successful black people? But there are, and I can't say that for all of Oakland. It was just some of them that I met. It was like a culture shock for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a culture shock for me that they didn't realize how powerful they are, or you know, they didn't know what was available to them within this community and how great they could be. And there are some that do, you know what I mean? And all of it was just a culture shock when I see that. And when you say like they keep, and what made me think about that is when you said they keep certain people here, like down, and certain people up. And it's like I noticed like black people from the Bay Area that are not specifically from Oakland had a little edge up. They had a little more. But Oakland was, you know, one of the places that the crack epidemic hit hard. So these are people coming from grandparents and parents who were part of the crack epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
And so moving up was unfathomable. Or going to school was unfathomable. You know, doing things that their counterparts were able to do was unfathomable. Where the black people that I meet coming in are from other states that are successful, and so they're coming into Oakland, and it's becoming expensive for the natives, and now they have to leave. And so yes, there's a large black community, but a lot of the people are not from Oakland.
Oh, that happened here.
It's wild.
No, it is wild. And I know, like, I'm not originally from Charlotte, but I feel like I lived there long enough. So when COVID happened and all of that, you know, all of the people from California, Canada, all of those, what's the word I'm looking for? High cost states, selling their properties for, you know, getting their money, their profit, coming here, able to buy homes cash. They literally drove out to, like, the west side. The west side was the black side. And when I moved here, you know, homes were still like under $100,000. Homes over there like over $300,000. I said over here for the west side, what? And then they started putting in sidewalks. You know, when they started putting in sidewalks was coming. And the one question I used to say, I'm like, so black people don't deserve sidewalks? Like, is that what you're saying? Because you only put in the sidewalks because now you're building the apartment buildings and it's right off of Uptown and you know the kind of people who are coming. Like, why why do we have to have all of those upgrades for them? But people that live there, they don't deserve sidewalks. Like, they can't go jogging and walk a dog. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. But a lot of those families have now moved to another country area, and I feel like they move them there, and when they start making it like develop in the area, they gonna come and move them again further out, because it's like, thank you, we got it now, like, go someplace else. And they're gonna keep doing that. I couldn't afford to live in Charlotte, so I had to come all the way out to the country. And it's the weird smiles, you know, the weird smiles they give you when
This one?
mm-hmm.
That's I love that one.
And they look at you weird, like, you gonna do that? I'm gonna just kill you with a smile, because why? But yeah, they're gonna keep doing that. Like, I had a question where, do you guys feel like we will ever narrow the gap? Like, do we have to then get everybody else that's below us or whatever? I mean, we're not at the top of our tier, but are we then just gonna have to get everybody below to move in droves so that we're all on one level to then narrow that gap? Because I don't know how else it'll happen. Because then I feel like no matter how far we get, we're gonna be stuck at some point because they gatekeep. So it's like, I guess we're gonna have to build an army and get the people up, so then we could knock down their gate. Like, I don't know how else it'll actually work.
For all of us to be on an equal playing field, the system has to fail, which I think is coming. Well, you know, if I don't want to jinx nothing or whatever like that, but as you can see, people are starting to wake up like, oh, this shit ain't right. Like, no, something's wrong, or I can't afford to live here. I'm on the street, or I'm about to be on the street. I know a realtor that just moved out here. She was a realtor in Florida, and she sent me this article today. But like, this past year span in Texas alone, in the Houston area, there's been like 177,000 evictions.
Wow.
People can't pay. It's going up, and like, everybody's moving to Houston too. So yeah, everybody's moving to Houston. So like, it's only making that bridge really, 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 really wide. So in order for us to be on the equal playing field, two things gotta happen: the system gotta fall, or we gotta give them back all their stuff. We can't value the things that they made us value, which is the money what they face on.
But the thing is, right? So a lot of the things that they value tie back in are us. Yeah, walk like us, talk like us, dress like us. What, give them back us? Because we developed that.
Well, not give them back. Then we gotta take back our blackness. Take back our money. Stop shopping.
I don't mean to cut you off. So there was a time where us, as Black people, we were at the pinnacle. We were moving up, and we were on a scale moving upward. People were doing well, being successful. We had most of the celebrities and Hollywood just booming. Black professionals, doctors, lawyers, CEOs, and white people realized, oh shit. So they took away the curriculum. Because if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat your past, right? So
I like that you said that.
Our children, well, you know, not mine, but the other people's children, they don't even know their history. They don't. Like this, like I had to literally, a friend here, you know, and some of my friends are younger because I'm single. I don't have children. Everyone my age has children. So most of my friends are younger than me because anyone my age is married with, you know, kids. They can't do what I do, right? And he had no idea about Black history, really, and was never really taught it. And we had to sit there and talk. And then I said, "Well, you leave. Give me some takeaways." He had to tell me some of the stuff that he learned about Black history. They don't know it, and the next generation is not going to know it. Skylar's generation, unless you teach her, is not going to know. Do you get what I'm saying? So they can't even take their power back because their history has been stripped. People really believe Egyptians was never Black. They don't even know. They don't even know segregation here in the United States in the late 60s, early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
There was places like Belgrade, Florida that still had slavery well into like the early 1900s.
Mm-hmm. Still
You
going
know,
on today.
it's why for Belgrade. You know, and it's wild. People don't know. So they're systematically breaking us down by taking away our knowledge, right? And so like I love to read, since he always makes fun of me. I love to read and do a lot of this stuff because my mother instilled in me the only thing that anyone can never take away from you is knowledge.
Yep, my dad says all the time.
As long as you have knowledge, you can get anywhere. That's the only thing. And why you think it was important for us not to know how to read? But the only thing we were able to read was the Bible. And I'm not going to go there. But it was important for us to not know how to read. And the only thing we was able to read was the Bible, because the Bible taught obey your master. So to systematically train us to obey them. And so, you know how many people died for me to fucking read? That's why I made sure I got my PhD. My PhD was personal. People my color died to get an education, to read, to learn how to write their name. Children would never know that. I don't think they know. So they're fighting a battle. There's black girls on TikTok saying, oh, if you don't speak the language, you should be here. I ought to bust you up. Like, what are you talking about? This is not even your language. They gave you this and told you had to speak it and gave you the name Morgan. If you was an African, it would be something else. Like, so it's like they broke the system down and they gave influencers the opportunity to make money, and that way the only thing they're showing is vanity. They're praising vanity and getting rid of education. So all black girls know how to do right now, the younger ones, not our age, because millennials are different, is be pretty. Be pretty and be a bad bitch and sell clothes and sell beauty. And now knocking to them because they, if I can, I love it. But the education is limited and they have no idea what's going on and what's lying ahead. So like what Antwan said, the system has to be broken. And it does. It does have to be broken in order for us to rebuild it. Every great empire falls. Every great empire falls. We run this course. It needs to fall in order for the people to be one. Germany had to fall for Germans to get rid of that mindset. And you see, they make sure, did you hear our new anthem? My anthem is including everyone. You know what I mean? They're making it every empire. And I don't mean to include them because I don't want anybody to think because everyone's
an example.
Yeah, it was just an example because I don't want people to say, oh, I'm not anti. I'm just anti-ignorance. But what Antwan said was true. Not to break the system where people need to be hurt or killed. It's just there has to be.
The system
it's not working.
The system was designed for. And, I agree with you as far as, they're stripping the knowledge away. Like, I work in public education. I have a conspiracy theory that public education is not going to be a thing pretty soon. I believe that they are working to privatize education, which is why
I believe they've already put it in. So what people fail to realize, the Republicans run the House. So no matter who the president is, whether they're Democrat or Republican, if the laws go through, the Republicans run the House. So they can just
do whatever.
They already have those laws in place. They're trying to get rid of them. They're trying to privatize education.
This is what I believe, because I don't pay attention to a lot of stuff. Like, I still live in a bubble. I realize I still live in a bubble, but I just go outside a lot. I just don't pay attention to a lot of stuff because there's a lot of stuff going on that's just wild to me. So it was a feeling that I got and just watched certain things like a few years ago. Like, it only makes sense to pay your teachers well because your teachers are the ones responsible for every other profession, yet you're not paying them well. You're overcrowding classes. In my district, there are over 1,000 vacancies for teachers and instructional position. If there are 1,000 vacancies, what quality education are you giving these babies? No, you're overworking the teachers that you got. The classes are too big. That that third grade prison pipeline is a thing, and benefiting from that, them. So they're going to take this away. There was a bill that was passed over here where now they're giving more money to charter schools, and if you want to send your kid to private school or whatever the case is, they have not woken up yet, and they need to wake up. And you know, my vote is not important. It is, but by the time you are ready to vote, it is too late, because things that you're getting mad at now, and I realized that like maybe 2 years ago, the things that you're getting mad at now, they already did the work for that years and years ago, but you are only seeing it, and it's a little too late. Like, it's a little too late, but I see that coming, and they think that we are the ones that are going to be mostly affected by this. They're in for a rude awakening, because it's not us. Like, you are telling yourselves we are the problem, and we are taking from the system, and we get all the handouts, and it's like, it's y'all. You gonna see it. It's y'all gonna suffer, because we have been working, and we've been trained to work so hard that we're doing that, and we did that, so we're gonna be okay. I mean, there's some of us who aren't, but we're still not going to be the majority that they are trying to affect. But that's coming to where public education is not going to be a thing. You will only get educated if you can afford to pay for it.
You know who's gonna be okay? The Rastafarian type people. I was gonna say this.
Our parents are Rasta.
My uncles and everybody Rasta. And I'm gonna say this: the smartest person I ever met can't even read. Them the smartest people I know. To be honest, like, you know what I'm saying? People with education, like, you know what I'm saying? And I say this because I like to break things down in the most simplest form. Because that's our problem. We so complex now, we done got lost in the sauce. Everything has always been so simple.
It has.
And I learned this from my Jamaican side of the family. And he used to always say this one saying, I forget it, but I embody it. Everything is here that you already need. That's what black people already forgot, because we went into their system. I go back to like what our purpose is right here on this earth is to protect the earth. And earth favors us because that melanin. That's why I say we ain't black, we melanated. Because one thing for sure, every day you wake up, that sun's gonna pop up. And there's only one group of people who can last in that sun just a little bit longer. And that's a blessing. That's the biggest blessing you can get to thrive on this earth. And we forgot that. Black people don't even like to go outside no more. But I'm gonna get back on topic, where the agriculture, the land is the most prominent, the resource. That's what they fighting over. They ain't fighting over the money. They printing that shit all day. But they taking your land and your resources. That's what's really important. So I say that because black people need to learn how to use agriculture again. Black people need to know how to farm the land, because that's all you really need when you think about it. You talking about you hungry. Bob Marley said it best. He got this one saying, like, you know what I'm saying? How you hungry? Only a fool is hungry with an abundance of water. Or only a fool is thirsty in an abundance of water. There's water all around us. And there's land all around us. You can go easily put your hand in there, plant your seed, and watch it grow. You know what I'm saying? In a year, you'll be a full man. You know what I'm saying? So I like to break things down in the most simplest form. Education aside, yes, I get it. Scholarly things matter. You know what I'm saying? That's how you pass it down to the generations in the way, per se, if you don't have ancestors. And that's what the ancestors are for. You know what I'm saying? That they'll teach the kids. We lost values in the home, which comes with losing the land. You lose the land, you lose your resource. Now you lose stability. You know what I'm saying? So now you got broken homes. So it's the simplest thing. So let's bring it back down to the simplest form of, go plant something. Now we ain't hungry. At least we ain't hungry. You know what I'm saying?
Stop that though. In some states, you can plant stuff in your backyard. They don't be able to sustain yourself. Like when I moved, I never understood. Like back home where I live at, in my house, the water from the rain goes down to the sprout.
The little funnel system, same shit.
I'm like, why no house got the downsprout going so where you can catch the water? Because in some places you can't do that.
You know it's illegal to have rain catchers.
Yeah, because They're taking away your resources, taking away your
It's illegal.
Some black people are ignorant and think that the rainwater bad for you.
Yes, I've seen that. There was a TikTok with a lady in, I believe it was in Texas, where she cut it and then she put this little piece and she's catching it. Somebody said, "Ew, why would you drink rainwater? That's just that's on the roof." It's like, sis, you drink tap water. Where's that coming from?
In Jamaica, we drinking rainwater. We using it for a lot of things. Agriculture.
I was telling Carmen, if the world is going in, I'm gonna need them to send me a signal so I could go home, because I'm
with you though. So you gotta let me know about my plane ticket.
Come, and we're going home. Because like he said, you're never hungry. Like when I moved to the States, that's when I started eating junk food, right? Junk food, fast food back home. When I was growing up, fast food was fruits. You hungry? Go get some mango off.
Get your ass on that.
Apple. Go get your fruit. You could never be hungry with all the fruit trees in the yard. What? So yeah, take me back there. Take me back.
Right. So that's what I'm getting at. That's real abundance. That's real wealth, and that's real success. That's what I started to learn. I started to, I used to, like, you know what I'm saying? You know how I go. You start to value these celebrities and stuff like that. Then you start to get around these people, and you be like, I don't really fuck with you. Like, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? You don't really got no value, to be honest. And a lot of these successful people, successful women I meet, I think the same thing. Like, yo, you don't really have too much value. And I start to appreciate my mama even much more when I start to meet these people. Because, before you like, damn, my mama got a nigga working all day. Damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? But now I get it. This is real life. This is real stability. This is the realness. It ain't the cash flow. It ain't DoorDash and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I get it how you live. This is the system we live in. But at some point, that's when the real education got to kick in. We're like, yo, no, this shit ain't sustainable because inflation's going up and these DoorDash prices going up and these motherfucking tax and fees going up and I'm making less money and they cutting people off and I'm about to get laid off. So it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
It's not. And like people make fun because I'm the plant lady. I have all the plants. I can make it grow. I have a green thumb and I love to grow things. But that's important to me to know how to grow. Yeah, and I grow them in my house. It's important. Well, my name means garden. But for essentially in my heart, I need to know how to make things grow. And Cynthia tell you, that's one thing. I thrive on wanting to know how to maintain myself, maintain my stability, maintain my life without material things. That's important to me. That's great that you said that because people need to know how to, like when people are like, oh, they don't know how to plant. Why? You need to. You need to do that.
Yeah.
You're dependent on a broken system. How you dependent on a broken system that you see failing every day? You see homeless people just sitting there failing, and you're dependent on this system. One day that white man gonna take his job back, or you gonna get laid off. They gotta do tax for it. It's coming. I'm not jinxing nobody, whatever, but that's the realization. And you know how I go. First come, first serve. But if you ain't one of my kind, I'm sorry. You first one to go. Who the blackest? Your ass out of there. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got some dirt on them. But who the blackest? You probably gonna be the first one to go. That's the sad reality of it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got some friends in some high places. But that's the sad reality that when them layoffs come and the system start to really fail and they ain't getting the loans that they used to. Oh yeah, you're in jeopardy now. You know what I'm saying? So what are you gonna lean back on? What are you gonna fall back into? That's why it's important to break things down in the most simplest form. Those are the things I look for in people in general, not just in like a woman that I'm dating, but just in people in general. Like, how simple are you? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear, like, I don't care about how complex you are. You know what I'm saying? About the material things you got and stuff like that, which is great. And also, I like nice shit too. I like traveling. I like, so I'm in the Galleria right now. But at the same time, I understand what real wealth is and what real success is. And I give thanks to my ancestors or my mom. You know what I'm saying? Even when we didn't see eye to eye, one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to always look after that lady because that's where that's real right there. That's the source. Coming back to the source. That's the source. The land has always fed you, but yet black people still running from it. Running from something that's always been there for them. The sun has always been there for you to help you grow, to help that skin shine, but yet You cover it up inside, and you in AC all day. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna step outside and go take a walk.
Are you
Little things like
No,
that.
so that's the crazy. So people make fun of me because I take a walk every day.
She
I have
does.
to feel the sun.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't take a walk, I feel crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
during lunch, I take a walk. Even if it's raining, I take a walk. I need to feel the sun. I need to feel the earth. I need to feel. I literally need it. I don't know how people don't take walks. Like you don't take a walk,
No.
like nowhere.
I walk
What? Like
to the living room, to the bed, to the garage.
the last time I visited Cynthia, I said we're going for a walk, and she was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah." And I
Feels
made her
good.
have a walk, and she felt good afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
Get great ideas. You breathe with some good air, like little
I'm
things.
going for a walk on Monday.
Thank you. Well, tomorrow's Sunday. You could try it in. Well,
For
Antwan,
real.
looking forward, like what changes, and you touched on a lot of things as far as simplicity goes, and I feel like those ideas, getting back to the simplicity of life, and I really, value that insight of yours, and I feel like that's something maybe I can adopt. And I know since
Yeah.
we both we're thinkers, so we're gonna be like, how can we incorporate simplicity into our lives?
Mm-hmm.
But looking forward, what changes would you like in society's like understanding and appreciation of Black culture? Not just us knowing how to get back to our roots and get back to who we are, but what do you look forward to with society as a whole understanding us and appreciating us?
That's a tough question. Only because right now society is trending down. Like we just said, we seeing the gentrification happen day by day. Um, right now, I'm not looking for anything particular from any race. We just talked about the money. We just had these conversations about the money's tainted. It's blood money. The money's stained. How you gonna keep sustaining blood money? You know what I'm saying? It has to be washed and it has to be done with, right? So in that aspect, like you know what I'm saying, I have good aspects for myself going forward, but far as like society, that change needs to happen. I would say I'm looking forward to the revolution. I'm looking forward to that transformation to the simple things when we're forced to. Sometimes things force you to change. You know what I'm saying? You know how life go, even in your personal life. Forget about society, but sometimes some things make you sit your ass down and be like, you know what? I've been doing too much. I've been partying too hard. I've been going out to I ain't been focused. I ain't been disciplined. And Earth or the universe has a way of using certain energies to put you in your place to make you understand that no, you need to come back to me, or you need to slow down, or you need to change. And change is inevitable. So I would say I'm looking forward to the change. If you're talking about the societal aspect, I'm looking forward to that transformation. What it look like when you really have to rewrite everything. Like, oh shit, what did I just learn? Or what have I been learning these past few years? And how can I incorporate it moving forward in this new world? Because death is nothing but a rebirth. So I don't want people to think that like I'm really pessimistic. I'm the most positive person ever, right?
Oh,
I'm
I
very
already know.
optimistic. I'm very optimistic. But death is a rebirth. So I don't look at bad things. I look at things as a lesson, always. I never look at things in a bad light. So I'm looking forward to the rebirth or this death process, going forward for society. You know what I'm saying? I can't, I try not to think too far in the general and stuff like that. I try to stay inside my bubble. All that can control is me. But for society there, that rebirth and that transformation, I'm definitely looking forward to it and see how people really adapt to what's really real. Get back to what's real.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward, I will say, to more respect for everyone, not just the Black culture. I'm looking forward to people being more respectful, more mindful, and more empathetic to one another. I feel like we have lost empathy, and even the attacking of others, disrespecting each other, the way people talk to each other on like social media, and like I am looking forward to understanding the appreciation of all kind as a whole. Because the only way us as Black people or people of other, races, ethnicities, and cultures can really truly succeed as a society, and like you said, get back, have that death and that revolution in order for us to get back to the land, is to appreciate, understand, and be empathetic towards one another. Because if we see each other, everyone as your enemy, we can't move forward. We can't move forward at all. If everyone's your enemy, you are on defense.
Agree.
You're on defense. But if we are one race, one human, one, Homo sapiens, we would get so much further. I would love that. And I know that's not going to happen in my time. It's going to be like 30,024 BC, 3024, love to see it, it's going to be like 3024 when everyone's just like one race and kind of mixed in, and then, they one thing.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. But if you notice, even in those dystopian-like environments that we read about, it's because something fell and they were able to rebuild, like Antwan said, and become that. I'm looking forward to that.
You got to strip it away. Yep. Just like you. I don't think we're going to see the changes that we hope for in our lifetime, but I think people need to be passionate. People need to move forward with love and unity, honestly. Like, love the other person like you love yourself. Because if you love yourself and that's how you're seeing other people and you're treating other people that way, you're not going to do anything that's like... That's what I truly want. Not matching energy and matching negative energies, because we're so quick to match a negative energy. Match positive energy. Like, just love each other. You don't have to be like overly lovey-dovey or whatever. Some people can't visualize it. Just be respectful. Like, treat everybody with respect. Talk to them. Be gracious. That's something for myself. But just get back to the simple thing, right? The atoms. Like, I think that's the takeaway. Yeah, simplicity.
Simplicity.
That's the
song. We need simplicity.
If anyone got anything from this episode today, I hope they got the simplicity. How can you get back to whatever simplicity means to you, so that way you can move forward in your best life as a Black woman, as a Black man,
as a human.
Oh, and as a human. Sorry, yes, and as a human.
As an Asian lady.
Inspiration for our Black people. How do you get back to your roots, your simplicity? What is it that you can do? That's it. I don't know. Well, thank you so much. We can go on and on and on and on. Y'all know I love to talk. We can go on and on. Antwan, we're gonna have to have you on for another topic, because we can go on for hours. But thank you so much for joining us for today's episode and sharing your insights and your outlook on a topic that is so sensitive, and making sure that it was made light. Antwan, make sure you tell the people where to find you again.
You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube at Fine Tune with 2 U's, ED, Fine Tune. And it's been a pleasure to be on here. I told you, anything that you're a part of, I would love to, be a part of it as well. I had to come back, so it's been an honor. Sensei, it was great meeting you for the first time. Awesome. I love this episode. I love the topics and everything that we talked about. I think people will really gravitate to this episode. They'll take some things away and be like, you know what? It's going to raise a debate. Whether it's negative or good, any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. That's right. Well, speaking of publicity, please follow and like, wait it up, put my glasses, and give us 5 stars, because you want to. We are now on Amazon Music Podcast, guys. So I'm so excited. If Amazon Music Podcast is your preferred platform, go and find us there. And send us to your friends, your family, your coworkers. Have them come listen to us. And for more information on us, go to wheredidiputmyglasses.com. You'll get updates on me and Sensei. You can out an affiliate link, get updates on the latest episodes, and show your support.
Yes, and to interact with us directly, go to Instagram and Facebook at Where Did I Put My Glasses for your thoughts, questions, and comments, because you will have comments on today's episode and even on past episodes.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.